Hey y'all, it's Christy Cook from Teadoddles. It's time for the part 3 of my Line brand yarn review. I had purchased several different yarns that you may or may not have seen in your store, and I've been doing a knit and crochet sample with them. And then the first review, I've made a couple of projects I've finished, and then I've got another one started. So I've got 3 more samples done today, and like I said, I have 2 projects finished and 1 in the works with the yarn I did in part 2. So I still have more to do, but I'm getting through this the best I can. I sound a little stuffy, I'm sorry. I think I'm getting I have a cold. Yes, I've been trying to avoid it. I thought it was just allergies, but I'm pretty sure it's more than allergies. Luckily today I only had a morning class. I didn't have afternoon classes because they had half days, and tomorrow my class is like from 10 to 11. It's usually in the afternoon, and it's usually longer. So I am going to record this, edit it. It was supposed to go out today, and I just haven't gotten to it because I've been trying to rest a little bit and feeling kind of icky. So I have taken some cold medicine, and it's making me feel better. Plus I have some coffee with me today, which is my late afternoon coffee, which I don't always do, but I needed it today. This is my Hit Me With Your Best Pot coffee cup. I like it. So I do have 2 public service announcements for y'all before I get into this. I didn't want to have to do a separate video for it, but number 1, Dollar Tree has more yarn for $1, of course. They already had the Red Heart Unforgettable Waves, which I ordered some of that. But now they also have some Deborah Norville from Premier, which is the chunky yarn, acrylic chunky yarn, yeah, in several colors. They also have some Isaac Mizrahi yarns in there with some glittery like stuff in it, shimmer in it. And they have, I think, 1 or 2 more colorways of the cotton, the Premier cotton yarn. So y'all may want to go check that out. I'm gonna put a link down below. It is an affiliate link, because they are an affiliate of mine on the blogs. And you know what? I'm not gonna talk about that now, but anyway, and plus they have from now through tomorrow, Friday the 13th, yeah, flat rate shipping of $4.95. So you can have it shipped to your Dollar Tree for free, but for $4.95 flat rate shipping, you can have it shipped to your house. So you don't have to go out and pick it up. So that is available. Most of those yarns, they come in a case of 24, but you can order, the least amount you can order is 6 of each color. So that's my first public service announcement. Second is Consumer Crafts sells yarn. They're another affiliate of mine. I had seen an email of theirs this through the 15th, I think it is. It's either I think it's the 15th. They have 20% off the yarn on their site. They do have some Line brand on there, and they have a brand called Darice yarn, which I have brought Darice, I'm probably saying that wrong, Darice yarn. It is, I don't know, I've never used it before, but I've bought their other crafting products before. So they have that on there, and everything's 20% off currently if you use the code. I'll put the code down below because I don't remember what it is right this second. They had some decent prices on some of the different Line brand yarns they have. They don't have everything, they just have some kind of random things. So you may want to go check that out. Okay, those are my public service announcements for all you yarny people, because you know I'm on a yarn diet. And if you follow me on Instagram, you just saw the humongous box of yarn I just got in from Line brand, which I will talk about in my podcast this weekend. So yeah, that's why I'm on a yarn diet. But y'all aren't on a yarn diet necessarily, so y'all go check that stuff out, okay? Okay, let's get on with this yarn review. I had to get me a tissue, y'all. It's after I do this and record it, I've been answering some emails and stuff, and I'll probably do some comment answering while I crochet and knit for the rest of the evening so I can rest. Because I really nobody wants to be sick, really. I really don't need to be sick. I got a lot of stuff to do. So, here we go. First, I'm going to show you some things I completed with yarn from the first yarn review, because my plan is to do the knit and crochet sample, the 4x4 square information it gives you on the package to do a gauge swatch. And then I'm gonna make a project with it to learn more about the yarn. Okay, so from the first review, the two projects I've finished are, I think I said last time in my podcast that it was the camel yarn. This is not the camel yarn. This is Chainette from the LB collection. It's 70% baby alpaca, 18% virgin wool, and 12% polymide. So this is the one that I have two projects completed in. I think that's focused. The first thing I already showed you in my podcast was this cowl. This cowl, I have the pattern wrote down. It's called the Gilded Cowl. It's by Brianne at Hooked on Homemade Happiness. Okay, and I believe this is a pattern that I bought, and if you signed up to just about any crochet blog or anything, they're always sending around the emails with the bundles where you pay $19 and you get all these patterns. I believe this was in one of those bundles, so, but you can go check her out. Let's see, what did I have for my gauge on this one? When I did my swatch, I did the rows, the stitch and row count it gave me, and I got 4.5 by 5 inch swatch instead of a 4 by 4. But for this one, gauge didn't really matter that much, so I just went with the pattern and the hook size it gave me, and I really enjoyed it. I think it did really great for this pattern. This has those faux knit stitches, which is where you crochet in the side of the third loop. It's got some bobble stitch going on. So yeah, I really like it. Gave good definition to my stitches. I got this bad joint going on, but there are things you can do to fix that, and I just went along with the pattern and just did it so I could get done. But I still like it. It's very warm. I won't be wearing it anytime soon here because it's still close to 100 degrees here with the heat index. So, but I like the color too. This was whoa, mustard is what the color is, which is very camely colored to me. Not very yellow like I would think mustard, a brown mustard maybe. So I didn't have any real problems with it. It did take one ball and a smidge of the next one, because I had two balls of it, which are 131 yards each. So I enjoyed working with this. It does make a nice, soft, squishy project. I had enough left in the second ball that I knit a headband. It has that twisted front look, and this right here was a mistake. I realized I had done pearls on the wrong side, and I said I'm just gonna make it part of the design. So I did two more, so it looks like part of the pattern. So then you could wear this like this, or you can wear it like this. So I'm pretty proud of this. This is my very first completely finished knit object. So yeah, this pattern is from a new book I recently bought called Slow Fashion Made Easy. 12 Thick and Quick Knit Projects. It was written by Alexandra Tavel of Two Wands Crochet. No, of Two Wands. Alexandra Tavel, Two of Wands. I'll get it right. I got that from Leisure Arts. I'll put a link down there to that too. It has a lot of thick knits, like thick yarn knits. So the pattern was written for a number 6 yarn. This is actually a number 4 yarn. So it's smaller than what they show in the picture, but I think it still made a great handband. And I still had just a smidge, just a little bit left over. What I did is I actually based it on my gauge swatch for the knit was right on 4x4. So I was able to say, okay, so how many stitches would I need to get to the inches for the width of this? And that's what I did. And actually, I think that since she used such a big knit, hers was just the width. So what I wound up doing is folding it in half and seaming it. And then I just kind of stuck the ends in like this and sewed it together. I don't think that's exactly how you're supposed to do that on that one, but that's how I did it. So I kind of modified the pattern a little bit to fit the yarn I had. So having that gauge swatch really helped with that. So that's something to think about when you don't want to do a gauge swatch. I'm enjoying doing this. It's really giving me more insight into the yarn and make better decisions about what pattern I might pick for it. So actually, out of those 2 balls, I got 2 projects. I got a cowl and a headband. So that was pretty good. So next, I haven't finished this yet. I just got finished blocking it last night and drying it. So that's before I can do the rest of it. This is in the Tweedle Dee. What is going on over here? Hold on. The Tweedle Dee yarn. This is an Earl Grey. This is 75% acrylic and 25% cotton. And y'all, I forgot to write down the pattern, but it is a market tote. And as a matter of fact, I think it may be by Two of Wands. I can't remember for sure, but I will put it up here what it's supposed to be. But it's a market tote. It's what I ultimately decided to do with this yarn. And what I have so far is this. It's a big piece of crocheted mesh. I had to block it to get it flattened out. And now what you're supposed to do, you're gonna do stitches to gather it up on the sides and then put the handle on it, and it'll make a tote. So I don't think I have enough yarn left to do all of that. So what I'm gonna do is find a cotton or something that is a complementary color to this to do. I'll start with this, and then to finish up I'll do something else, because I know I'm not gonna have enough of this. Well, when I looked at the yardage for the pattern, I figured I wouldn't have enough. This is a number 3 weight, so I'll just find something to coordinate with it to finish it off. I tried, someone suggested a pillow with it, because this has it's a very textured twist on the yarn. It's not gonna float. There it goes. Which hopefully you can see right there. My camera's acting weird. So it's a very textured. It doesn't feel bad, but you can feel the texture in the yarn. So it's an odd. It's an interesting texture. When I was gonna try to do some kind of corner to corner pillow cover thing. I did not like it with it. You know, when I started making this, I was like, oh, this works great for this, like this. I liked it like this. I could see you doing something basic stitches with this. I wouldn't try to do a stitch that's like a big design in the stitch, because it's gonna take away from it. The look of this yarn is very busy because of the tweeded effect and the texture of it. It stands out by itself. It doesn't need an extra pattern to it in the crochet stitches, if that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense. You know, my head's a little stuffed up, so I'm kind of... Anywho, that is what I have. These have 310 yards in them. So I have the whole body of the bag, which didn't actually take too long because it was just basic, just making the mesh, you know. And I did enjoy crocheting with it. So I will show y'all when I finish this up. Okay. So now let's talk about the ones that I just recently did swatches for. All right. Let's see. I'm going to start with the Mandala Tweed. This is a newer tweeded yarn they have out. And I forgot to write down the prices of these, but I will have them down below when I give you the link. Now, also this Tweedle Dee yarn, all the colors were in their clearance section the other day. I don't know if they're still in there, but if they are, I'll put a link to that because they just had a sale on them, and all the colors were in there, and they're cheapskate deals. I don't know if they're still in there, but I'll list the price, the current price, and well, I'll list the regular price and put a link to it. And if it's on sale, it's on sale. How about that? Now this is 100% acrylic. There's 568 yards on these skeins. I'm just going to remind you what it looks like. This is a very interesting yarn. I do know these are more, I want to say this was like $10, $10 to $11. So it's much more than the standard mandala cakes. They tend to run about $5 to $7 depending on where you get them from. But I'm imagining it's because if you look at this yarn, it's like a twisted yarn, like a two-color twisted yarn, but both colors have a fade to them, right? Which is different than something I've seen. Usually you'll have one that's a solid color if it's twisted like this, and then the other color fades, but both of the colors in here fade to different colors. So this is the Dice colorway. This is a very soft yarn. Now this has a looser twist than some of the other mandala yarn, but here is my crochet swatch, which I really love how this works up. I love the patterned effect it gives. It's a nice yarn, y'all. It feels good. The crochet is kind of stiff, as you can see. I did do actually single crochet on this one. So now for it's an eye hook, or 5.5 millimeters, 15 stitches, 18 rows. I got 4 1/4 by 4 3/4. So it did work up a little bit wider and definitely taller than the 4 by 4 for me. As I said before, my gauge tends to be fairly average. I'm pretty good at getting gauge on most things, but as you can see, not on everything. So yeah, and this reminds me of like the stiffness of it, but it's softer. Just reminds me of a pot holder for some reason. I don't know why, because the cotton yarns, they crochet up stiff like that. That's what it feels like. Of course, it's a single crochet, so it may get a little bit looser with a different stitch, but I do like the pattern of it. This is another yarn I wouldn't do busy stitches with. Just basic stitches would look great with this. Now, let me go ahead and hold up. This is my knit swatch. Oh, it's backwards. There we go. I'm just doing stockinette stitching on here. So now this is a much lighter, drapier fabric that is made with the knit in this. I could see making a nice, it seems like it would be a lighter weight sweater, because the twist on this yarn is not really super stiff. It's a looser twist. Hopefully y'all can see that. Yeah. So I did not have issues with it splitting. It knit up just fine. I liked knitting and crocheting with it. I really like this yarn, actually. It has a different feel than some of the other mandalas. The other mandalas tend to be a denser yarn, a denser twist on the yarn. This is not. So the knit is definitely a drapier, softer feel. This is a little bit stiffer. It's not rough, but it's just stiffer in the crochet. So you can see the difference in the way the tweeding, it looks. I like the effect in both the crochet and the knit, but it definitely looks different. So for that one I got where is my thing? My knit swatch was bigger as well. It was 4.5 by 4.5. So my swatches were both bigger for that one. And I did exactly the stitches and stuff that it said. So now we do the test to see how well it pulls out. Y'all, I knew this would pull out well because I really like this yarn. It's not like super soft, but it's not rough. It's like just a good, nice feel to it. Good, nice yarn to touch. So, and then now let's check the crochet. I can get my stitch marker off. There we go. So there we go. Pulls out really nicely. Nothing getting hung up or anything like that. So I really like this yarn. It is a little bit pricier than the typical mandalas, even the ombre, which I have next. So yeah, but it seems to be about the same amount of yardage, 568. I think that's, but it is a 7 ounce, whereas okay, so the ombre is 344 yards and 5.3 ounces, so it's a little beefier, but it's I think you could make, it says you can make a sweater with 3 of these, is what it says. Now I often wonder if that's knit or crochet because it doesn't tell you that part. Okay, moving on. The next one I have here is the Mandala Ombre, which is in my store now, my Walmart now. It wasn't in there forever, and it wasn't online because they were only selling it in Walmart. And then they had it online, so I went ahead and ordered it, and now it's in my Walmart. This is 100% acrylic. This is the cool colorway that I got. It's like browns and blacks and grays and whites. This yarn is very soft. It's a very soft yarn. Let's see. For my crochet swatch, this also used an I9 5.5 millimeter hook and 14 stitches, 20 rows, 4x4. I got exactly the gauge on this. I did double crochet, but I got exactly gauge on this. This has good stitch definition. This would be a good one to use for something with some good fun stitches because they would stand out. And it seems like the color change, even though it has that fading effect on the color, you would you can see little splotches of it in this. You would be able to see the stitches really nice because it has that long color change. So that is my crochet one. Here is my knit one. This yarn is a dense yarn. Like it has a very high twist on it. So the crochet is pretty drapey, and the knit now is even drapier and nice and soft. You can see the stitches are well defined. I'll have to think about what I want to do with this one because in the crochet I can see doing some fun stitches with it and it's standing out really nice in it. And in the knit though, it makes a nice soft drapey fabric that would again make a lovely cardigan or sweater or something. So my knit swatch actually got 4.5 by 4.5, so it's a little bigger, but I'm thinking that part of the bigness in the knit, some of these knit swatches is because I did them, a couple of them last night, so I had to finish them up for today. And it may have been because I was tired. I don't know, but I felt like I was doing pretty good with them. So I really like the way this feels. This is really soft. So what else? Oh, and the needles size is a 7 or 4.5 millimeters for both this and the tweed, the Mandala tweed I just showed you. Okay, I don't think I put that on there. Again, I don't have the price on here, but I think this is about the same price as a regular Mandala. What else? Okay, so now let's see how well it pulls apart. I didn't have any issues. I got my other yarn tangled up on here. Y'all. Gracious alive. Okay. I didn't have any issues with the yarn splitting or anything like this. This is actually really nice to work with both in the knitting and crochet. This pulls out very easily, very nicely. No issues with that. Let's check out the crochet. Imagine it's going to come out really nicely too. Yeah, that comes out just fine. So this is another nice one to work with. I will say that this one is softer than the tweed. And it is a tighter twist, more tightly twisted yarn than the tweed, but they are both very nice. I really like the feel of both of them. So the Mandala Ombre is definitely softer. So next is my dotted line. Dotted line. This is a number 2 yarn. It is 100% acrylic and the colorway Lucky Charms. There you go. It's got like the greens. No, there's fuzz on everything. The green, the purples, and the yellows. This is a very soft yarn. It's got a shininess to it and a slickness to it. The Mandala Ombre is more matte colored, as well as the tweed, or matte toned, whatever you want to say. So I don't know why, but I only did half a swatch on the crochet. Now this is very tiny. This is number 2 yarn. I think that day I was just not feeling it, but I did do half a swatch on the crochet. Now what's interesting about this yarn, and I don't know if y'all are going to be able to see it, but you get, it's called Dotted Line, and although it eventually changes to the other color, you get little dots. You can see them on the yarn when it starts getting close to another color. You'll see little dots every so often of that other color, and so it gives it a nice speckled look. This is not focusing right. There we go. A nice speckled look, which you can, maybe you can see the little speckles of purple down in the tealy greeny blue color. So that was interesting. It's very soft fabric. It makes, based on what I did, I think that my width was short. It was only 3.5, but as I'm looking at this, I think I did something, because the bottom seems too, like it's drawing in on this, so I don't know what I did. But as far as the height, I should have been about on gauge 4 with this, and this uses a F5 or 3.75 millimeter hook. So now let's look at my knitted swatch. Y'all, I did not like knitting with this at all, and but yet I managed to finish my whole swatch. I don't know what it was. This is a very slippery yarn. Although I am enjoying it. Just was starting to get the speckles at the top. Oh, this is not doing what I want it to. There we go. You can see at the top, it's just starting to get the speckles of the purple. I can see it better right there. I don't know. This is white. So this makes a very see-through-ish mesh with the knit. It's very thin and light and airy. But it's a very slippery yarn, and I was using metal needles, so I didn't like it. I had a hard time getting it to stay on there. I would have, even though I've been using the interchangeable needle set I got from Blueprint, which I love, and it is not as slick as some metal needles I've used. I was gonna change to some bamboo needles with it because it's so slippery, but I didn't have a size that I needed for it, so I just kept on with it. But unless it works up more easily on the knitting needles, I would not want to knit with this. It is so very slippery and slippery. And it makes such a thin, meshy almost fabric when you knit. You get better coverage with the crochet. I like the way it feels. I just don't know that this is one of my favorite ones. I mean, I like the color changes in it. They're kind of neat. I just don't, it's such a slippery yarn. I didn't enjoy that part of it. Let's put it that way. My knit swatch came to gauge 4x4. So, and it uses 4 or 3.55 millimeter hook, or needles, sorry. And it pulls out really easy. It's so slippery. I didn't imagine that it wouldn't come out easily. But let's check out the crochet. Definitely easy to frog. I haven't gotten to anything that did not frog well, even those slightly fuzzier yarns. So that's my next 3 yarns. I have more to do, y'all. I have a bunch in that box over there. I was hoping to get more done before this next one, but it didn't happen. So there will be a part 4 and more coming. I don't know how long this is gonna last. I'm gonna keep doing it until I make it through them all. I would have to say I do like the Mandala ombre. It's very, very soft, and I really did like the tweed. I'm not a super fan of this dotted line. This was really the only colorway they had also that I thought I might like. I do like the way the color changes in it. I don't like how slick the yarn is. I mean, it's super shiny and slick feeling, so it makes it difficult to knit with for me personally. The crocheting wasn't too bad, but the knitting I definitely did not enjoy doing with that at all. I like both the knit and the crochet. The Mandala tweed is a lot stiffer. So what did y'all think? Which one was your favorite? Did you like any of these? I did also want to say, back to the Chainette, these are such small skeins. They're 131 yard skeins, okay? The first skein I didn't have any knots in. The second skein I ran into a knot right towards the end, which I felt was unnecessary for a skein of yarn that has 131 yards, plus it's such a higher end yarn. That's not fair. It has the alpaca in it and stuff, so it's a pricier yarn. It's $8.99 a skein, regular price. So I was disappointed to find a knot. Otherwise, I loved the yarn, but I did find a knot at the very end of that last skein, which I was kind of like, why? So there's that. I haven't found a knot at all in the cotton yarn. I haven't made it completely to the end, but this is a bigger skein of yarn, 310 yards. So there's that. Yeah, I think if you want to see the other ones that I purchased in the haul, I will put an end card here at the end of the video, wherever they wind up at, to link to that one so you can see the other ones that I'm going to be doing. Well, actually, you need to watch like the last 2, because I added some in the second one. So. Anywho, that's my review for these so far, and like I said, I do like the chainette. I like the texture it goes. I like the feel of it. Was disappointed to find that knot in the skein. This one right here is a good, like I said, I'm making this tote. I think it'll be great for that. I can't see I wouldn't see myself making a sweater out of that personally, but I don't think I would enjoy it. I do like the feel of it though. I feel like it's you can't really use it for pot holders because it's got acrylic in it, but for a mesh tote or handbags or something like that, I think it would be great for that. So, and so next time, hopefully I will have that bag finished and have something finished with one of the other yarns I showed, and maybe one of these. We'll see how it goes. So it'll probably be another 2 weeks before I do the next one of these. So hopefully give me enough time to have more done. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Think about subscribing down below. I will see y'all again. My goal is on Saturday for my podcast, y'all. So I will talk to y'all later. Bye.